Hey yo guys, hey, welcome back to another speed duel deck farm. Hey, today we're looking at major in paleontology. I look at dinosaur fossils, right? Dr. Alan Grant. You know, we need you on Jurassic Island. This skill is very weird. It is a skill based around a card that does not exist in this format, right? So, the whole point of the whole fossil archetype, I think that's what this thing is. Actual name is that it uses a card called Fossil Fusion, but that card does not exist in the format. So to make up for it, they made this skill card to be that fossil card. Alright, so this thing does a lot. So once per turn, you can banish one card from your hand face down, then place one dig counter on the skill, max 1. If a Fossil Fusion monster you control is destroyed by card effect, you can place one dig counter on this skill, max 1. Once per turn during your main phase, you can remove one dig counter from this skill to fusion summon one fossil monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from any graveyard, except for materials with a specific graveyard requirement. Listen, this is treated as a summon with Fossil Fusion. So yeah, so this skill is pretty much Fossil Fusion in for what it does. Right? So yeah, so that's how you summon out all these dinosaur guys or whatever the hell. So the deck is pretty complex because of this, right? So we're playing Triple Weathering Soldier. This guy is a 2000 beater that loses 600 attack during every end phase, right? But that is not the part you care about. Is that when this card is destroyed, you can add a card that mentions Fossil Fusion from your deck, except itself, right? One Grandmo, he's a rock monster. That's why, because of that. And then the reason we are playing Triple Delta the Magnet Warrior, right? So this deck has become less about fossil fusioning and more about, hey, I'm just gonna play Magnet Warrior control, right? So we're pretty much just going back to the old Magnet Warrior control because we're also playing one beta. This is on some of you foolish any Magnet Warriors, basically, right? And then we are playing Triple Magnetic Field, all right? So if you control a rock monster, right, you can special summon one Magnet Warrior from your deck. So hey, all these guys, these are all rocks. So if you have this and any of these rocks, you can summon back a Magnum Warrior, and then you care about the other effect, because I found out that this effect applies to every rock monster. It does not apply to Magnum Warrior. Once per turn at the end of the damage step, when an Earth rock monster you control battles an opponent's monster, but that opponent's monster was not destroyed by battle, you can return that monster to your opponent's monster turn. So yeah, this just turns all of your rock monsters into a battle. So especially with the Magnet Warrior, where you can keep reoccurring them every single turn, right, by just summoning out any other rock monster, which is this entire deck. You get a free, you get a spot remover every turn. We are playing, because of this, we really care about protecting our cards. So, Triple MST, hey look, I don't like Macrocosmo. Macrocosmo needs to stop. Hey, stop it, Macrocosmo. I do not consent to you banishing all cards I control. So this is to deal with Macrocosmos. Triple Book of Moon as a protective card. He goes, I just like playing Book of Moon. Book of Moon's a great card, you know, just play that. Play Book of Moon, right? Because we said, you have the magnetic field to deal with any back row cards your opponent has. One Offerings to the Doom, this is just there to deal with any monster. I just like Offerings to the Doom. And your limit one doesn't matter, right? I just like Offerings to the Doom. Is a very good. Next, finally you played the other card that mentions Fossil Fusion. I think the other rock fossil main deck monster mentions Fossil Fusion, but you don't really care about them. They are kind of really bad, and I don't want to deal with them. So this thing, what this does is that you target a Fossil Fusion monster you control, attribute it, and special one Fossil Fusion monster whose origin is 2 levels higher. During the main phase, except the card this turn was centigrade, you can banish card one Fossil Fusion monster, then target another Fossil Fusion monster in your graveyard special summon. So yeah, this just. You pretty much rank up, right? What this card is pretty much trying to say. You just keep ranking up into your bigger Fossil Fusions because of that, right? And then if you get to a long game long enough, you can then start building a board, getting back your Fossil Fusion, right? Because of that. So now for the extract, it's the Fossil Fusion, which they all do a bunch of really weird different things. We got the Skull Buggy, which is any rock monster and then any level 4 monster. So you can use this from either your opponent, right? This one does this one inflicts 600 with destroys an opponent's monster. Then you manage to add a monster that matches Fossil Fusion. Yeah, so you just add the rock. You add this guy. Whatever, I don't care about him. He's kind of really bad. You kind of want to get the graveyard to set up your time stream, I guess is what you want to do it. We play 2 Skull Knight. Is that what this guy is? Is this the Skull Bones? I hate these. These guys have such... There's Fossil Machines and Fossil Warrior and Fossil Dragon. I hate the naming scheme of this guy. This guy can declare 2 attacks on a monster during each battle phase. That's pretty cool. This banishes him to add time stream. So yeah. And then this also uses any level 4 lower monster. So these are pretty much the generic ones. Next we play 2 Skull Knight, right? Skull Knight is this thing has piercing. And when this destroys an opponent monster by battle, this can make a second attack. And then when it's in graveyard, you can banish it to blow up any card. Hey, this is shout out to all you Dogmatica games. This is a Dogmatica card right here. This is a classic Dogmatica card. So is this a 4? This is a 6, and then finally for an 8, right? Because the point is we want to cheat climbing up. Most of the time you just want to cheat climbing up till you get to the last one, the Fossil Dragon. Boy, hey, this is a T-Rex. This does not look anything like a dragon. I don't know what they're trying to say. This is clearly not a dragon. I don't know what they are trying to tell me with this card. So this is a level 7 or higher or monster. One level 7 or higher monster in your opponent's graveyard. So yeah, so you can either try to make it normally, or you can just cheat it out with the Fossil Stream. Right? Before damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can switch the current attack and defense of that monster to the end of the damage step. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. If this fusion monster battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts your opponent is out. So just swing big. This guy just swing big. So yeah, so you're pretty much just stalling out and trying to control the board state with magnetic field with this deck until you can start doing the fossil mechanic, right? Actually doing the where most of the time you're just gonna make. I would probably just make Skull Knight. I think or Skullbone. I hate the name. These naming schemes are terrible, and I hate it. You make Skullbone. You make Skullbone. You go into Skull Knight, and then you go into Skull Dragon. I hate this. I really hate these fossil names. Why can't they have one unified fossil name? It's really annoying that is done like this for them. But yeah, like I said, this deck is really complex to play. It's really a deck that has a high ceiling to play for what it does and wants to do, right? Most of the time, I'm really just legitimately just playing this as a rock control with the magnetic field and the magnet warrior, right? Most of the time because of that. But you can do the fossil, like if you get to this fossil stuff, like this stuff is unironically actually hard for your opponent to deal with, right? If they don't respect it, right? Yeah, like I said, Skull Knight is just as good if he's in graveyard. He just blows up a monster. But yeah, that's the skill. I hope you were following along with it. I was following along with it too, right? It's like I said, this deck is just really weird, right? I think this deck is really weird to play. And I think this skill just randomly has so much card text for no reason. I don't know why this skill has, because they had to put the entire effect of Fossil Fusion onto this skill card because of that, right? But yeah, that's the deck profile. Thanks for watching like always. If there's a deck you guys want to see, comment down below. I'll try to get to it eventually. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, thanks, bye.